on the counter, whatever it may be, they could secure the room, go get a search warrant, and come back and search it after the fact because they were legally there.
Yeah,
They'll partake in the small talk with you. They will. So you're going to go ahead and build rapport with your guy. Then you're going to take him to the station. Once you get him in the station, you're going to put him in a room. And you're going to say, look, you hungry, you thirsty, you need anything? Yeah, you know, I'll get some water, whatever. All right, cool. Hey, we're about to order food from this spot. You want anything? Oh, really? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I'm going to order some food. I'll come back. Go strategize with your partner. What questions you're going to ask, how you're going to run it, get your recording equipment ready, blah, blah, blah. Come back in, give him his food, make some more small talk with him. You know, hey, you need to make any phone calls? You need to call any family, anything like that? You know, I'm not supposed to let you do this, but, you know, you need to make any phone calls? You want to call your lawyer?
You started playing the game. I'm not supposed to let you do this.
Nah, no cap, they do. Yo, bro, don't believe what they tell you. Holding in that interrogation room more scary than the cell, bro. Cause you be sitting there wondering the whole time, yo, did I pass the test? Did I fuck up? Did I do this? Did I answer this question with too much this? Are they going to insinuate? Nah, they going to double back to this question. Like, and they be calling your name sometimes. Like the game he talking about, they'll randomly come to the thing. Yo, you good? Oh, nah, I'm just checking in on you. Let me know if you want anything. Like, little subliminal shit like that. Like, that shit cruel, bro.
Yeah,
nah.
Yeah, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I'm telling you, I used to really do this shit, man. Like, I got a director's award for a fucking reason, bro. Like,
and by the way, I'm watching this video, and I just noticed something else. When he walks in the hotel, there's an agent. So, Chad, if you're looking on the screen, there's an agent who's in that second corridor, or it's almost like a walk up to the front of the hotel. He comes in right when Diddy walks in. He cuts off the rest of the crowd. If you notice, the crowd stops. He clearly says something to them like, "Yo, all y'all back up." And then he walks in front, and then you'll see him in the next frame. I'm gonna show you, Chad. So these two go after Diddy, and then there's a bunch of people here, and I think he says something to them. He's right here. You see this guy stop? Everybody kind of stops at the door. They don't keep walking in. Then this is the guy right here. He's going to cut them off and join these two agents. Yep. You see him right here, bald-headed guy? He cuts these guys off, right? He kind of walks to the crowd, right? And then you're going to see him, not in this one, but I'm going to show you the same guy again. Which obviously they kind of, yeah, he's right here. They kind of knew what was gonna happen. They knew he was with probably like 10 dudes. They're like, all right, cool. He's kind of in the front of the entourage. As soon as I don't know how they're communicating, but as soon as he goes in, you then.
And they see two white dudes come at him. They know what time it is, man. Like, you know, there's no reason 3 white dudes are coming up to me, you know, with fucking tactical shoes on, trying to talk to Diddy. But let me just finish the random thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So you put him in the interview room, etc. You're talking, making small talk. At this point, it's maybe been 45 minutes to an hour, right? Then you come in, you're like, all right, look, bro, we gotta talk real quick. I just got some questions, but before we get into that conversation, I gotta read your rights. Boom, you read him his rights, right? And also, I forgot to mention this. Before you read him his rights, you gather biographical information, name, age, date of birth, all the shit stuff.
You still think they got to do that for Diddy, or you think they already got the paperwork there?
They already got it, but you're going to ask him these questions to build rapport, because when you ask him where he's from or how all that, it generates conversation. So you're doing the small talk, again, his personal biographical information, even though you already got it, right? And then you tell him, hey, look, bro, I just got to ask you some questions, read your rights real quick. You got the right to marry silent, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to give him the Miranda form to sign. And you're going to tell him, look, you don't got to sign it, but, you know, it's just to let you know that I read it. And can I ask you some questions? And then a lot of the times after you've built...
But no funny shit, being in that office is no joke, bruh. It's like 80 tests you gotta pass, like a SAT exam. Not even the Regents, SAT. Like, you could get there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer when it comes to interrogation. You just helping a case. Don't let it be on your ass, though.
Or whatever, right? The guy says, I'll talk to you only if it's a possibility of me getting out of here today. Could you blatantly lie to him about that? Like, because you got to realize someone who would want to talk at that point, if they would want to talk, if they're like, hey, you know, if I could clear something up for you that I could walk out of here, cool. But, you know, it's kind of conditional at times. What would you say to that person?
Okay, so I'm going to give your chat some sauce right now if they ever find themselves a police.
Nah, yeah. So let me say the source first, because I feel like I know what he's gonna say. Basically, they not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you that you could go, like you could walk out, but they're not going to stop you either. You feel me? Like if you just not give them what they ask, but actually don't incriminate yourself and leave them at a point where like everything that they game planning against you is like, now they kind of have to let you know, like be upfront, like the game is over. Like you kind of have to like, is the game over? Like, can I go now? Type of shit. Like you can't blatantly play the game and try to outsmart them, because that's the game. You know, you're just gonna put yourself in a deeper loop.
Police custody. This is what they're gonna say 99% of the time for all of you guys, right? Anytime you're the subject of investigation, they're gonna say, "I can't make no promises."
What I told you.
Let me call the AUSA,
What I told you.
aka the prosecutor.
Yo, don't.
Let me talk to my supervisor.
Sleep, boy,
let me make a phone
sleep.
call. They're gonna say
Don't
that. What they're gonna do is they're gonna defer that decision to somebody else
in this game, bro.
and say,
"Let
"Let me talk to them." That's what they're always gonna say every single time. Because at the end of the day, like, and I kind of explained this on the last one, but I'll do it. Like, I really want to give your audience the insight here. Federal agents don't really have as much power as people think they do. It's really the AUSAs, aka the federal prosecutors, that make the shots, that call the shots. Like, your job is to do the investigation, arrest them. But once you got him under arrested, you're starting to gather evidence on him there and then.
Once you're arrested, the time starts. Like, that's what they don't tell you. That's why they just on your ass in the interrogation room, because they gotta make something stick. Like 9 times out of 10, you could sit there and nothing is sticking. You feel me? But that's when the game start, low key. Like now they're like, I bet case gonna get thrown away. You know how the ups is. We don't got a case. We have about 7 days to really build something on him. You need to crack him in 7 days. In them 7 days, my nigga, they gonna make your life a living hell. It's gonna feel like 3 years. I ain't gonna lie to you. They might wake your ass up at 4 in the morning, like, yo, we need to talk to you real quick. You hungry? Like with smiles and shit. Like, yo, bro, they play that good cop, bad cop role. Really,
then,
bro.
now the AUSA kind of has a lot of leeway into what happens.
Shit.
So,
wait, let me ask about that. I think you may have cleared it up last time, but I'll ask again. Maybe you can do it again. So, like, when a cop, like, for example, I've seen, like, I watch so many body cam footage, but a cop will pull somebody over and they'll be like, yo, I'll cut you a break, bro. I'm not gonna charge you for this little ounce of weed, but suspended driving, the kilos of coke, I'm definitely charging for. And that seemed like officer discretion on what is going to be the charges that person's getting. So is there no discretion for the agents who are doing these investigations, arresting the guy? And okay, we're not gonna. All right, come on. Of course, you had a little pink cocaine in your room. We're not gonna hit you with charges for that, though.
Yeah. Well, if it's a little pink cocaine, a lot of times it's not going to reach federal threshold for them to even warrant a prosecution. But to answer your question more fully, the state and locals have way more latitude to make probable cause arrest than the feds do. And the reason for that is because federal cases tend to be more complex, and AUSAs are very picky, and AUSAs don't want to lose their cases. So the agents got to work with the AUSA for a period of time before they can get the indictment to actually go pick the guy up. Whereas if you get stopped by a local police officer, he catches you with dope, he can make the arrest right then and there. But the feds aren't like that. You're not going to go to federal prison for having an ounce of cocaine. No AUSA is going to take that. That's street level shit state. They're not going to take that unless the person's like a violent criminal. You know, there's some other extenuating circumstances.
So this is not
the feds don't have as much jurisdiction to make probable cause arrest as the state does. Now, with that said, let's say you have them in your custody. Let's say, okay, let's go through a hypothetical here, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say they bring Diddy back, right? And Diddy's like, look, I'll cooperate with y'all. I'll give y'all somebody big, right? And he provides information that is good.
Yo.
The agent can go ahead and make a phone call to the AUSA and say, look, we need this guy out on bond, right? We're gonna continue on.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The way the police play games is like snitching. You feel me? They come into the black community. They tell you, yo, snitching is no good. Lock your ass up. And then the good cop, bad cop start. They be like, yo, bro, you don't want some 10 years doing some shit that your partner did. That's how they get you. And they telling you and your partner that whoever give up the information first, that's when the other one come back like, hey, yo, your boy talking. Like, they play that game so well on you, bro. They might hit you with the pump fake like, yo, your boy didn't say that was happening. And then you really gotta like, man, jail not for nobody, bro. They play with you too much. You come back into society like a fucking animal back against a wall, bro. Not cool.
Because obviously we got the arrest warrant. We got to bring him in front of the magistrate. But we need this dude out on bond. All right? And this is a rare situation because typically when they're indicted and shit like that, it's been public or whatever. But there are certain situations where you could get the guy out on bond after the fact to cooperate.
Okay.
That is when agents could kind of come in and throw their weight around a little bit, because what they're going to say is like, yo, we want to further the investigation. I need this guy out. And then if the AUSA is like, all right, you want to further the investigation, and they kind of agree, then they'll talk to their team, and then they're going to go ahead and not object to bail.
Interesting. By the way, another question, not exactly a follow-up to that, but one that I thought of in terms of like just agent rapport with maybe a potential defendant. A lot of people in hip hop have thought or has, assumed, like actually I believe one of his bodyguards has even said that based on certain communication they've seen before that seemed odd with Diddy and law enforcement, they actually believe that Diddy was a working CI at a point for maybe the feds. Okay, how would this work if you've had a CI? And by the way, we don't know if Diddy's a CI, so we're going off an assumption here, but I just want to set the scenario that we could get.
That boy Diddy a CI. You want to know why? Tupac died. Biggie died, Suge Knight in jail, Snoop Dogg never opened his mouth about shit ever since shit happened, Jada Pinkett Smith with Will Smith getting niggas packed up like Chris Rock getting slapped the shit out of because of old trauma. Like, nigga, Diddy is a CI. Let's just say it right now, my nigga. There's too much shit that you can't really explain that's just happened in the entertainment industry. But the one thing that you could confirm is Diddy was both with Tupac and Biggie, my nigga. Like, let's cut the bullshit.
Realistic answer. If one of the CIs, right, ends up being a subject of a major arrest, how much of because I'm wondering, let's say Diddy was a CI at one point, could he be like, yo, listen, I was giving you guys information, like, you guys can't come back and charge me with certain shit, like I was helping setting up other people for y'all? Like, could that be a thing, or would they make sure that the lines are very clear on, hey, if you were going to participate in criminal behavior, we would make sure we clear?
Before he even get an answer from him, I don't even think that is going to come out like that, because if you do some under the table shit as a officer or in the legal system, you gotta kind of like, keep going with the illegal shit low key and make sure it never comes to light. Like, get that nigga if he talking too much type shit. Like, I don't think it worked like that. Like, you don't publicly say, hey, yeah, guys, we fooled you. Don't worry. It was just a prank. We just wanted this to go this way. Like, no. I don't think niggas do that. But, hey, let's hear the response, though.
Are you for that? But there's no way you're just a CI. Because I don't know if you've seen this movie on, anybody seen this? One in the chat if you've seen this. It's called, but it has it's popular on Netflix right now. Whitey Bulger, who's like a drug kingpin out of Boston, who was a CI for the FBI for all the years, and he was snitching on all his competitors, but he started taking it overboard because they told him, hey, you're a CI, we're gonna kind of like look the other way with a lot of stuff you're doing, right? Because we have all these quotas and whatever to make, but you can't kill people. You know what he does? He feels like he has the protection of the feds. He starts killing people. You get what I'm saying? So later he gets taken down. Do you think that might, if Diddy was a CI, that might complicate things if now they're investigating crimes that maybe he was a CI for other people, to take down other people of similar crimes?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. And I'll have to kind of answer this kind of like the Miranda thing to give you the full picture, because this is another situation where it depends. But I'll go ahead and give you the different scenarios of.
By the way, the movie's called Black Mass. Thank you.
Yeah. Whitey Bulger, I'm very familiar with him. Winter Hill Gang, Irish Mob. You know, he basically provided information to the FBI against the La Cosa Nostra, the Angulo family out of there in Boston, North Boston to be exact. And he was instrumental in, you know, the FBI getting him, and he ended up getting John Connolly in trouble later on. I'm very well aware and I went to college in Boston, so that case has a very significant role in my thing. But anyway, let's talk about informants. So there's two types of informants. Oh, actually,
first of all, if y'all watch Blacklist, if y'all don't watch Blacklist, get on that. Blacklist is something just like this, where like someone who is very high profile, he gets arrested, but it's not like he gets arrested and he's going into the jail. Nah, them niggas got him in some secret confinement container, you feel me? And they only talking to him through some agent because he has some relation to him, some sort. You feel me? But moral of the story, that motherfucking high-profile criminal knows every other high-profile criminal. Like, he could get you the biggest and the baddest. Like, he's giving you cases. Like, he's funding the police at that point. Now, if we got something like that with Diddy, where he's... and please don't get me wrong when I'm saying that. If he's legit funding the police, people who has been doing the same shit as him, my nigga, Diddy will take on a whole new meaning when it comes to the legal system. True word. Because this nigga's gonna have power and influence to get your ass. It's either he gonna get your ass with his influence as a mogul already in his past, or he gonna get you with his current immunity that he's trying to work on with these cops to let him know, like, yo, these free calls wasn't just me. Go ahead.
See, there's multiple types of informants. There's cooperating witnesses, there's cooperating defendants, and then there's official confidential informants that are signed up getting paid, right? So for this case, we'll focus on confidential informants that are paid, because these are the ones that are actually documented, I think, that you're trying to refer to. There's paperwork on them. They have something called a CI number, right? It'll be like CI-11234, right? You never use his real name when you write your reports. You just refer to him as CI, blah, 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 right? Okay. So with these informants,
those watching on Keep in Tune, make sure y'all get in tune with the Discord link.
They're
in the
doing
description
something
too.
where they're operating under the authority of an agent. Let's say they're doing an operation where the CI is buying drugs or whatever, and that CI is arrested by police while performing under the authority of the government. Yeah, the agent is gonna get that CI out, because obviously they directed him to do a criminal activity, and maybe he got busted by the locals or whatever, and they'll facilitate getting him out, whatever it may be, right? But a lot of times there's something called deconfliction. Before you, okay, holy shit. So I got to step back here. Remember how I mentioned the operation plan before? Yeah. And how on the operation plan you got a CI in there, and the CI is identified, so there's no blue on blue or shooting the CI or any of that other shit. Okay. Another important thing when you do operations, you're going to do something called deconfliction. And what deconfliction is you're going to call all the local, you're going to call like a law enforcement hotline, and you're going to say that you got an operation going, and if anyone else is going to be in the area conducting an operation. And this intermediary group, which every state has a different way of doing it, is going to tell you if there's any operations in that area. Now, if there is an operation in that area...
Bro, y'all don't understand how scary this shit really is, because some of the shit that's going on is like... You see how New York has some of the toughest regulation when it comes to the policing system? It be shit like that. They be the niggas next door listening, like with the peepholes and shit. Like shit that you would go around telling niggas and they'll look at you like, huh, this motherfucker's crazy. Nah, that shit that he explaining right now, like even the way Diddy got caught, it was dressed up in regular clothes. Like that's some New York shit. New York, I don't know about other places, but New York is one of them locations where they'll try to dress up like the people who getting on the trains and shit like that, just to come get your ass. Hey, that's the scariest shit ever, bro. And we know how them D's look too.
Yeah, they're gonna say, look, there is an op where you're gonna try to do your op. It's DEA special agent.
Let's try to get up to the point where we're at right now.
From all the activity you had going on that was criminal, we need to, make people whole, and we're gonna. But in this,
can now be forfeitable. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm a drug trafficker, right? And I got 3 bank accounts, and $1 of my drug proceeds goes into what the clean money, now all the clean money is forfeitable. Or if I'm stashing drugs at my house, or have stashed drugs in my house, now that house becomes forfeitable because it was used in a crime. Same thing with these freak-offs were conducted probably at locations that he owned. Now those locations are...
Yo, low-key, I'm listening to all this. Let this be a no. Why snitch? You like no funny shit. Why snitch? Hear me out. Everything is already forfeitable if you're already a part of the crime. It's not even about taking a position. Why talk? If you talk, you run the risk of them niggas taking what you said, like they said in the First Amendment. You have the right to remain silent, right? Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. So you just giving them something to use against you in court. Just,
forfeitable as well. Because it was used to facilitate the crime.
I've always heard that the forfeiture law is very, like people have mixed opinions about it, right? Like, for example, I'll just make up a scenario. Okay, Roger got caught for selling dope, right? He was selling dope, and he was using one house as a stash house. But the stash house is really owned by his grandma, who supposedly didn't really know what he was doing. She's had that house for 3 generations, passed from her grandmother or her mom and her mom's mom. And now they're snatching an asset that is, a family thing. And they're basically saying it's all for drugs, while the original owner, right, the grandma, wasn't complicit in this or wasn't intricately involved. So some people kind of feel like that's kind of unfair.
Yeah, so in that case, the government would have to prove that the rightful owner knew that that criminal activity was being conducted at the residence.
Okay.
So
So you see, as long as you can prove that ain't shit was going on near you, you ain't know nothing about it, don't see nothing, don't say nothing type shit, you're in the clear.
No, I was just gonna say, they would have to prove that.
Don't even talk.
And
unless you did some shit and you know another nigga gonna talk.
If they can't prove that the individual that rightfully owns it was facilitating, they probably can't take it.
Well,
and by the way, so the full bail package, which was ultimately denied by the district judge, Aaron.
And I'm talking about that actually. That they
Andrew
denied it.
L. Carter. Yeah. I was gonna ask you about, in your time as a agent, have you ever seen a bail package this complex, this lavish, this this is a over the top attempt to get him out of jail? And
yep.
I guess obviously this would be more of a question for Laura, but you definitely have probably seen these cases a lot. If they tend to turn down your either bail package or either deny you a bond initially, once it gets to the district judge, do you think you'll get bail at all?
In a lot of situations, the district judge ends up agreeing with the magistrate judge, because the magistrate, and just for the audience so they understand. So guys, when Diddy was brought in front of a judge, he was brought in front of a magistrate judge. Magistrate judges are kind of like a formality to get you into the system, because they're like on duty, and whoever was on duty that day to take on, for that week, they got to do all initial appearances. So it's kind of like, a luck of the draw. Then that magistrate judge, once they read your rights and, get you into the proceedings, they assign you a district judge. And then the district judge is going to be the one that actually presides over your case, etc. Now, in most situations, the district judge does agree with the magistrate judge, but there are opportunities for the defense to make arguments as to why they want to get bond. So in this case, I will not lie. This is an extraordinary bail package. I have never seen something so extensive when it comes to putting up.
Yeah, because that bail package don't even guarantee his freedom. It almost makes sense why all them niggas took the fucking passport to the kids, the baby, everyone, because with a bail package like this, nigga, I don't know if you got runaway money or key. Like, this nigga might be out the country, off the radar, the minute the nigga walk off the land. Like, I don't know what you're capable of, Mr. Diddy, Mr. Sean Combs, or I don't know what the fuck to call you at this point, my nigga. Like, you just
up your assets. I've never seen something this big. And to be honest with you, I'm actually really surprised that he didn't get bond. I thought he was going to get bond because from what I know, his defense team had been extremely cooperative with the feds. But clearly the AUSA's office doesn't care. They don't want him out. They argued against getting him out, as a matter of fact. I think the reason why is probably because they found firearms at his house. They found the AR-15 that had the scratch serial number, etc. So,
the baby oil. How you forgetting the baby oil?
but I've
by the
never
way,
seen a package this extensive ever.
by the way, it looks like they were always going to push for detention. I think his lawyer was angling towards it because they said, remember the raid happened on, I believe, March, is it 16 or March 20? No, 25th, I believe. That's when the search warrant was executed. Yep. They sent a letter to the AUSA, didn't get a response, but they also said, hey, the council has taken his passports. It felt like they were trying to offer the passports to the government. The government just wasn't asking for it. Like it didn't feel like they wanted to play ball. So, his lawyer said something interesting, which I don't know if you would have the expertise to know about why or when the arrest warrant will be executed. But he feels like they wanted to arrest him spontaneously rather than a mutually agreed time to turn himself in, because it would make him look better in the eyes of the court for a possible release for bond. If lawyers is saying, we got all of their passports, including his mom, all of the daughters, or all of his daughters, and the feds doesn't say give us the passport, they essentially just allow his lawyers to quote unquote have it and never take custody of it or never take control of it. Maybe they kind of wanted to push for detention, right? Because they are still making the case for flight risk.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. I mean, it didn't seem like they really wanted to play ball like that from looking at the emails and stuff. I know that his legal team definitely had been cooperating, but, at the end of the day, the AUSA's office decides who they want to get out on bond and who doesn't. I was actually surprised, but now that we see what's going on, there's a very good chance that he might not get bond at all. So, and that's kind of just how it is, which kind of sucks for Diddy. But I've never seen a bail package so extensive, ever.
Yeah, they have detailed here with all the emails, basically like, hey, following up from this email, we'd love to touch base. Hey, he's traveling from here to here. Like, they're literally like offering up a lot.
They went above and beyond. And like I said before, the last time we spoke, they did this in anticipation that he was going to be arrested and they wanted to angle for him to get bond.
Do you think an appeal, obviously they said they're going to the Second Circuit courts, they're going to appeal this. Do you think that if you're saying this is above and beyond, and obviously the guns were an issue, right? Okay, cool, they found the guns. I think the witness intimidation is the worst thing. And now I'm going to ask you this, because you've always said this and I've gotten this from you. You said the right to monitor one's phone calls is like the highest amount of probable cause you would need to get that warrant to tap somebody's phone call.
Yeah.
They know of multiple attempts.
That's why niggas tell you not to do certain crimes. Because if you do certain crimes, you open yourself up to certain legal security measures, bro. Nigga tap your phone in, just know you did some shit. And they tracking you down because you're doing some shit. Like RICO type shit. That's the only time when you can get your shit really tapped in. It's not a RICO distribution, really straight.
And calls that he made. Oh, hey, he called Kalina 54 times after he got a new civil lawsuit last week. I don't know if his phone is tapped, but it seems like they know a lot. Do you think they tapped his phone?
No. And the reason why is because for a case like this that's historical, they're investigating crimes that already occurred. You're not going to be able to get the information that you need from wiretaps. And then on top of that,
what about maybe a confession, an admission? Because I would think they would want to hear these conversations. To maybe he's calling them and be like, hey, you remember that one rainy night when we was all on the yacht and like you had 3 dicks in your mouth and you was drenched in baby oil? Yo, I know you was tripping in the morning, but you got to tell him you were with it. Like, he might say some things, He might say some things that'd be like, okay, so he himself even is knowing that he was on some fuck shit. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so we're at a crossroads here. Do you want me to explain the process of getting a Title III? Because if I explain to you the process to actually get a Title III, it'll make a lot more sense as to why that probably wasn't what they did.
I do want you to do, but I also want you to answer the question of, well, in a bail hearing, they have it so they have knowledge that he called 54 times. They have other conversations, even though they could have gotten those conversations from those people because they eventually went to the grand jury. Clearly, they testified from the grand jury, but they know a lot of his phone conversations. They even cite him directly saying at one point, "Hey, I can't talk on the phone. My phone tapped." Obviously, they're not going to admit right now that they ever tapped the phones. But how do you think they're getting these information? They're not tapping the phones, and then of course you can explain now Title III. Go ahead.
Nah, they definitely tapping the phone. I don't know. They might not give you all the information on air because again, like legally, you don't want a public to know that you tapping their shit whenever they want to, for real, without getting a warrant. That's like me trying to convince you that the police can't kick down your door if they don't have a police warrant. I'm black. You feel me? I can't even get away with that motherfucking lie. They could kick down your door. They could walk in. They could take a shit. They could do whatever the fuck they want if they do it at the right time. You feel me? Like if they do it at the right time, they do whatever the fuck they want and make it seem like nothing happened. But they definitely tapping that nigga phone off the rip. Ain't no way.
Okay, because the things that you're mentioning,
police or the feds not smart. They not. They get all the information from people who snitching. So you want me to believe the niggas that's getting information from snitches and rats could somehow, nah.
Which you're referring to phone frequency and contact, that can simply be done through a subpoena. You can just do a subpoena to AT&T or whoever his phone carrier is, and they'll give you all the tolls. And you can see that he called these individuals on these days this many times, or a pen register like before.
Again, that you see how the legal system plays it. Look, all right, he right, but that doesn't pose like enough evidence for you to convict someone. You get what I mean? Like a record log of a nigga phone calls making contact to the person who has said something about this person. It sounds like some he say she say shit. You feel me? And I don't know if this is another Young Thug case, then that's tough for the cops. That's really tough. I hope it's not no he say she say shit, because that's not enough evidence. Now, if they tapping the phone, which I know they are, then they are getting some. That's why there's nothing being released evidence wise, because if they release evidence that wasn't taken in the right security manner, you got to throw the whole case away.
So the things that you're saying that they're collecting, these are things that don't rise to the level of a Title III.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. That does make sense. Okay.
I can do a full thing on how, from A to Z, what it takes to actually wiretap someone's phone if you want me to, but
well, maybe you could do a little bit of a hybrid. So you're back in your agent shoes. You're doing an investigation. A guy kind of like feels like the feds are closing in a bit, so he's trying to tie up his loose ends. How do you monitor that? And like how do you juggle it both, like three ways? Like how do you juggle it by saying, oh, we need to take this guy in custody now? Because who knows, he might be reaching out to people who you're trying to flip. You're trying to flip these people. He's reaching out to them, trying to offer whatever incentive, right? He's intimidating people, possibly. You know that, say you're working on the southern border, some of these people are prone to a lot of violence. They might be like, yo, if you talking to feds, I'll kill the shit out of you. You get what I'm saying? And also just, it's at the point in the investigation where
I'll kill the
obviously,
shit out of you.
like, you have your evidence, which may be dated, but you are hoping this person fucks themselves. You're hoping that for whatever reason, they just get on the phone and just start ranting, or does something now to basically verify your case that is based on evidences that's from over like 15 years ago.
Okay. I'm gonna answer this question. I'm gonna give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a quick piss and get an energy drink, and I'm gonna knock this out the fucking park for y'all. All right?
Okay.
Give me 1 sec.
All right, it's all good. It's all good. All right, chat. While we wait for Martin to come back, hopefully you remember the question, but hopefully he got a notepad. Yo,
I don't believe that. That piss was mad. So, yo, bro, for you to get, I don't even remember the question because that's such a tactical way to duck a question. Hold on.
Evidences that's from over like 15 years ago.
Okay.
That's to basically verify your case that is based on evidences that's from Branton, or does something now to basically verify your case that is, does they just get on the phone and just start ranting, or does something now to basically verify your case that is based on evidences that's from over like 50 situation.
So based on basically, I remember what I was gonna say, but you ran around that question for a bit. I get you though. They tap in your phone on whatever the case may be, bro. You know how easy it is to get a phone call recording. Like, I don't think y'all know how easy. Like, he just said it 1, 2, 3, right? But there's just stipulations you gotta take before that. Like. It's like following the checklist. That's what I'll say. You gotta follow the checklist to make sure you're in line with everything before you tap a nigga phone. That don't mean you can't just put the checklist behind you one day and say, hey, look, let's tap that nigga phone. We overriding whatever the fucking higher up saying. That don't mean you can't do that. You definitely can do that. And if you do get some shit, like Ak is saying, like in his question, if you do get some shit on the account that you went over the department's decision as to not taking action on listening on a phone call, then you gonna get in trouble, nigga. But you just solved the case. That's how it's gonna be. You gonna get in wild trouble, nigga. But you just, hey, look, depending on how serious the case is, you might rank up. That's all I'm saying.
And people have just said, like, for example, here, people have just said this is a really.
See if he came back though.
They'll be able to use that as a separate crime. That he's calling individuals, threatening them.
See, I just said that. Hold on, I think he just.
We're listening to that more than likely, and it's got to go through something called OEO, right? And the Department of Justice. Then it comes back, and I got to take it to a district judge. This is a whole bunch of fucking work, right? Then after I get my Title III signed, I got to go and get interpreters to listen to the phone lines, and it's going to cost me about $50,000 to listen to one phone for 30 days. Now, that's a lot of work. And on top of that, the reason why I know that more than likely they didn't do a Title III in Diddy's case is because to listen to a phone, you need active criminal activity right then and there.
That's cap. That I don't believe that, bruh. Like, alright, cool. You need all of them resources to catch a nigga, right? But not everyone is Diddy. Do you feel me? Like, that's like me trying to convince myself and saying, oh, the FBI didn't tap Suge Knight phone. The FBI didn't tap Snoop Dogg phone or Tupac phone or Biggie phone. Like that, yo, bro, that's not sensical, bro. These are high class, high profile people. Damn near drug lords. They just on a cleaner level. I'm monitoring my motherfucking money. What the fuck? These niggas is just walking around here with $500,000, $1 billion net worths and shit. And you expect me to just worry about the people that's doing bad and wrongs? No. I need to zoe somebody too. Them criminals is as evil as it gets, my nigga. Sometimes they'll shoot a cop. But you, my nigga, you have to abide by the law. So I'm going to heckle and harass your ass, you white-collared criminal. That's what the fuck goes on. Like, yes, them niggas tap that motherfucker.
To be able to hear what they're talking about. Now, let's go into a dream scenario and let's assume that they were listening to Diddy's phone, right? Now that we know that it's highly improbable that he had the Title III, let's go into, let's say they did have the Title III and they caught him intimidating witnesses on the phone. They'll be able to use that as a separate crime. That he's calling individuals, threatening them. Now, if he actually makes a real threat where, I'm going to kill you if you fucking talk, blah, blah, you have to go tell that individual, right? or let's say he tries to kill somebody, but with someone else on the phone, you have to go talk to the person whose life is in danger and tell them, look, we can't tell you how, but we know that your life's in danger. You might want to leave town, right? That's what they did with 6ix9ine. When they brought 6ix9ine in after the Jim Jones call, we're going to super violent.
I was just about to say that. As you're mentioning this,
yeah,
it's eerily. Yo, chat. I'll give y'all a real quick story. By the way, please say where you're at in your explanation.
You know what's crazy? I don't know where he's going with it, but I'm gonna say this about 6ix9ine. Yeah, he was an informant. He was a federal informant. But you know what makes 6ix9ine different from Diddy? 6ix9ine specifically, like in his circumstances, he could have been a rat from the jump. Like, now you kind of gotta put that out there. Not saying like he was snitching since the game, but he really could have been a rat from the jump. Like, you never know when he turned a rat cheese, but hey, look, his stardom was so fast. So
I just want to give this real quick story about the 6ix9ine thing. So 6ix9ine goes to, I think, like Dubai, and didn't come back for a long time. And I remember like people were like saying like he fired his team, he was falling out with Shotty. And I remember I talked to him and he's like, yo, Ak, yo, bro, yo, shit has just changed. And he said, yo, Ak, I'm gonna tell you something, and shit is crazy. I said, what do you mean? What's going on? Because I was also advocating. I'm gonna tell you why. I was advocating for his driver. His driver was a very nice guy. His driver was always the person when I went to a party, 6ix9ine be like, yo, so-and-so is coming to get you at the front. Like, he always, the driver was almost like the runner. So when the driver got fired, the driver called me. And it was basically one of those calls to be like, yeah, I don't know, 6ix9ine, he's changed up on me. Ak, I know you're friends with him. Like, could you like, and basically was kind of asking me to like talk to 6ix9ine to get him rehired. And I was just like, yeah, I'm a good guy. Like, you've been pretty good to me. I'll talk to 6ix9ine. If he's tripping out, let me tell this nigga to calm down. I call him and I said, why you fire your fucking driver? He said, yo, he said, that guy's an informant. And I remember, I think I got like probably pale.
Nice, yeah.
Because everything I remember talking to the driver about, by the way, the driver was an informant. The driver was the one who had a car bug. The driver was indeed an informant. The driver called me, and I remember talking to him. Everything he was saying to me.
Ak, hold on. When he bugged the car, that was a Title III, bro.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah. I don't know how 6ix9ine found out, but he stopped working with him during the investigation. And I guarantee that call, the feds got that call somewhere where the driver calls me and is telling me a version of the story for me to go hit 6ix9ine up to bring him back into the fold. 6ix9ine tells me he's an informant. I'm like, yo, bro, you're bugging the fuck. Like, when 6ix9ine told me, I thought it was lying. I'm like, yo, you're bugging out, but at least, I'm like, feds? He's like, you know, that guy's an informant. And
wait, let me ask you a question real quick, because I want to make sure I'm accurate about this. Did the car belong to him?
The car belonged to the driver.
Okay, never mind. It wasn't a Title III then. They just bugged up his car, and that's called a consensual recording, because since it was his car and he owns it, and he's cooperating with the government. He could put cameras and audio in there without a Title III. It's a Title III if no party knows that they're being recorded. That was just a concession model one. My bad.
Yeah. But there was definitely Title III shit going on, because there were multiple recordings I got played later in court. And
they had the main guy's fucking phone tapped. Oh my God, Jamel. His name is Jamel.
Mel Murdoch's phone was tapped.
Yes, they had him.
I believe.
Are you in class?
No, I'm live streaming.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Is my noise?
No, I thought I was coming up here I want me to come up, that's why.
Well, I mean,
if I had Shotty's phone, there's no point to write paper for Tekashi's phone.
Yeah,
supposedly, with Shotty, so when they bring in 6ix9ine on, am I forgetting the dates now? November 18th, 2018. I always remember arrest dates.
Yep.
They bring him in on. They bring him in on that like 2 days before. They say, "Hey, listen, we have gotten information that somebody's gonna try to kill you.
Yeah.
Do you want us to protect you?" He said, "Nah, I'm good." He leaves, and
I told you he was gonna go to the casino.
Yeah.
He was going to Mohegan Sun. That's why they stopped him.
now the only thing I'm unclear about, because when I talked to 6ix9ine, I think that's they were looking at him as a potential target to flip. According to what he told me, and we talked offline about this a lot.
Oh yeah, I told you he was the guy they wanted to flip the whole time. Because I don't know if you want me to explain it again, like where he was in the hierarchy, why he was so valuable. But I'll let you finish. Then if you want me to explain that, I can.
Well, they played him audio of Shotty supposedly talking to his girl and basically almost like corroborating that. I forgot if it was his girl or to the other guys, but he somehow said like, "Yeah, I messed with his girl." That was enough for 6ix9ine to be like, "Oh, okay, if this goes down, I'm flipping." You get what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
that's a dirty game. And by the way, obviously that's not what wiretaps are for. It's supposed to be criminal activity. But throughout the mix of whatever they recorded legally or kept legally, they had enough to play for him and say, "Hey, listen, just to let you know, these are the guys who are your brothers." 6ix9ine says, "Fuck that, I'm telling." That's a successful flip right there, right?
Absolutely.
Yo, low key. What y'all doing, bro? I ain't gonna lie to you. What y'all doing? You in 6ix9ine position. Niggas is fucking your girl. And you feel me? Like, niggas got you in the interrogation room. You not trying to snitch. Niggas slide you the phone like, "Hey, yo, look. Your brothers, your hearts, your day ones, your slats." And he go like this. And he play that recording. And she's like, you feel me? She throwing it back for game. You snitching? Oh shit, that's a fucking question right there. Y'all niggas better answer it. I ain't answering that bitch, my nigga. Cause
That's playing a dirty game too, though. Hey, I'm listening to your phone call for criminal activity, but I hear that you've been fucking your other homie's girl. Now I get to use that info to fuck with his mind that he flips on you.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I can talk about that a little bit. So when you're monitoring a phone, you have about 30 seconds to listen, and if it's not pertinent criminal activity, you can't use it, right? You can't use it like from a criminal standpoint, but that doesn't mean that you can't use it to flip an informant, though. You might not be able to bring it in court on an admissibility,
there's always a loophole in this legal
but you can absolutely use it to
that don't mean you can't
create an
flip
informant
it in
for sure.
court.
So
according to 6ix9ine, what he told me, he said he heard wiretap that heavily influenced what he was going to do. Heavily. Like, he said he was in disbelief until they played other people's recordings of people he thought he was friends or was dealing with, and it made him now feel like, well, they're not my friends. So now when the feds say, "Hey, we have a situation where you could cooperate," he says, all in.
Yeah, no, of course. And they probably showed him all the evidence they had against him. Like, it was, it was just overwhelming, and he's going to decide. But to finish what we're saying, so we talked about what it takes to get a wiretap. Now we're talking about intimidating witnesses. Yeah, they're going to absolutely, use that against him for a charge. Then if they're able to, then the next thing is, if he threatens someone's life, then they're going to go tell that person. That's how we ended up with the 6ix9ine story. And then there was one more scenario that you asked me about, the wiretap, if they hear it.
Chat, help me out.
Those 3 scenarios you gave. I'm trying to remember what the last one was.
Help me out.
Yo, the chat better like this goddamn video, bro. We're giving them so much sauce right now. I don't think I've ever heard anyone explain how a wiretap works in the federal system. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that shit. So these dudes need to subscribe to you and like the video and hear some bit, everything else.
And by the way, no, they're definitely supporting. We have so many people who are just.
Yeah, I heard it. Yo, like, subscribe, because you feel me? I'm the one promoting that shit.
Fascinated by the case, but also the process of this, right? Because, just a month ago, there were people just saying, yo, there's nothing, like, why do we keep talking about this? Nothing has came out of it. And obviously this was all happening in the background. What you're doing is giving the context of what's happening. Imagine if there was a Title III. Let's just suppose, right? You just explained how laborious it would be to even get to the point of getting that. How much money, how much resources. I think we spoke about like how much this investigation would cost. You
And
pegged
this is a
it.
historical case too. That's the big one. Since it's a historical case and they got to go back and it's really dependent on witness testimony, they just probably wouldn't be able to get the probable cause required to get up on a phone line and listen to him actively, if that makes sense.
So, wow. Yeah. So I forgot the question about wiretap. But what I will say is, I want you to react to this. So chat, check this out. Obviously, just more sources, and I don't know if people feel a little bit more brave because he's incarcerated, but New York Post, and usually they're I won't say all the way right or always right, but they do have a good high accuracy rate with them using sources, right? They know people who are former law enforcement, or sometimes they know people will just come forward to them rather than other outlets. They ran a story to say, inside Sean Diddy Combs' Hampton sex parties featuring gay rappers who was high on ketamine. And it says jailed hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs' alleged freak-off party stunned one drug dealer after he saw household celebrities having sex with each other. The dealer said Diddy opened the door to his former Hamptons mansion. By the way, chat, we have to think about the Hamptons. The Hamptons are the place of usually the rich and famous. When you think about the now white parties with...
Nah, y'all don't know the Hamptons for real, for real. I used to live in Port Jeff. Port Jeff is not near the Hamptons, but nigga, you know how much money you gotta have to be near the Hamptons, nigga? Yo, to put some perspective into that shit, when 6ix9ine was hiding out, you feel me, couldn't go to New York, he was one of my neighbors. Oh God, my nigga. The niggas that recorded him, that nigga lived around the corner from me, my nigga. Like, you feel me? Now, I'm not saying like I was in Port Jeff like that. That's the only motherfucking area in Suffolk County I really knew. Port Jefferson, you feel me? Where I was at, to be honest with you, I don't know. Niggas with money. That's what I'll tell you. Niggas with money, fucking cars, and nowhere to fucking walk because you need a car. Like, the Hamptons is no joke. So if niggas reporting from the Hamptons, nigga, oh yeah. Lights, camera, action type shit. Cause there's nothing but rich niggas there. Why you think all these CEOs stepping down?
With Michael Rubin, Hamptons. For whatever reasons, the Hamptons is like the place where rich, famous celebrities go to unwind, right? And it doesn't mean always sexually, but Jay-Z's out there. You'll see Jack Dorsey. You'll see them just walking down the street. You'll see, Leonardo DiCaprio. Don't know why, but that's the place. Anyway, Diddy used to throw white parties. I don't know if you guys know. Like, Diddy's the original provocateur of the white parties that now seemingly is taken over by Michael Rubin. This is why I call him the White Diddy. Now, this is supposedly a drug dealer
Oh, that makes sense. How Mike Rubin now. You see? I get it.
who popped in.
It.
They said this guy went to the former Hamptons mansion.
They don't found Diddy
opened the door. He was wearing nothing but a robe, and he brought him to a back bedroom.
White women prosecutors ready.
This is what the guy is saying. He says weird shit was starting to happen.
And they
celebrity guys fucking each other.
What more can you do to?
They were back bedrooms, and it was like an inner sanctum. By the way, I do want to pause and ask Myron a question because I've seen Wack made this point, and I've seen Umar made this point. What's the difference between, because some people are saying, yo, he's being charged for being a freak. What's the difference between freaky and sex trafficking? Because also, here's the thing too. The 1,000 bottles of baby oil, people are torn on it. It makes for great headlines. But people are saying, wait, owning baby oil? Why are you acting like this is 1,000 kilos of coke?
Yeah. So there's a couple of things why they're going after Diddy here. The main thing is, and this is what the government's going to argue, that the sex wasn't consensual because of the witnesses, or the witnesses' fear that they would deal with severe consequences had they not participated. Which obviously I predict Diddy's team is going to fight and say this was all consensual. They traveled across country to see this man. He will fly them in. They didn't have to come. They didn't have to do these sexual acts. They don't have to participate. They didn't have to keep traveling with him for days or weeks on end. that's more than likely what his defense is going to do. They're going to argue that all of this was consensual and the beatings and the fear and all this other shit are bullshit, right? That's what they're going to say. But where the government is going to get him is that some of these
I ain't gonna lie to you. Hold on, that one, I'm tired. I've been on live for a minute, so those who stuck around. Please like, comment, subscribe. Secondly, I don't know how the lawyer's sleeping right now. This nigga's working 24 hours just to make sure that this nigga Diddy don't sleep in a box. I'm gonna see y'all in the few though. I gotta go take a nap.